I've been invited to be on stage to just share on very much a case study. We thought that is very timely because during the keynote this morning by Ace Kung, he touches on cross-certification. And I think as most of you would like to bring forth your compute onto the cloud, data is, of course, part of the whole migration plan. And I think it's also important to look at, from a CSP point of view, a cloud service provider point of view, to really arm ourselves to give you the comfort, to give you the assurance when it comes into the cloud computing space. So let me just touch on. We are a boutique cloud service provider based in Singapore. Now, I'm not sure, had any one of you heard of ClearManage in this room? Okay, I see some handful. So I think if this is the first time you get to know this company, we are pretty much a managed services company for cloud, and our emphasis is to bring forth security to help you secure your data, your application, your network on the cloud. All right, so a pretty different approach coming from the big giants like the AWS, where they will give you the entire environment and self-service yourself. For us, we pride ourselves from a technical delivery know-how. So it's a kind of single neck to choke. We'll do everything for you with a very customized SLA for you to make sure that you are assured. All right? So reason why we are here this afternoon is that we are very proud to announce that we are the first in Singapore as a local-based cloud service provider to attain the cross-certification of IDA, MTCS, and the CSA Star. All right? So this is actually the first in Singapore. And I'd like to be amplifying a bit of this because it is very much something that we have really gained the support coming from the government. And having attained MTCS, it actually allows us to now bring ourselves up to the international front to provide trusted, secure cloud services. So value proposition is we don't burst your budget, very pretty much a standard managed services package. And as I mentioned, we are boutique, therefore we are very cost effective. We take care of everything for you. More important thing is that, you know, security is always our priority when it comes to handle your environment. Okay? So I think the key thing here that we wanted to touch on is really the compliance, right? So, you know, as I mentioned, a year ago, we have attained IDA, MTCS, and I think with that, supported by our ISO 27000 certification, right, now we are looking to enhancing ourselves, right? So we believe that we are ahead of all the major CSP. That includes the big boys. If any of your big boys here in this room, sorry to tell you that we've got more certification than you guys now. But for sure that we will continue to invest our expertise into creating and assuring more standardized, globalized, and Singapore innovated kind of practices for you, be it whether you are government or you are in the private sector. Okay? So we wanted to take this CSA Star because pretty much a year ago, after we have taken 27,000 and MTCS Tier 3, we know that it is not a lot of effort for us to go onto an international stage by adopting the CSA Star. So with that, pretty much very confident to say that, but a lot of hard work behind, because throughout the 12 months we've been putting a lot of effort, engineering effort, to build up our cloud infrastructure and to also build up skill sets to run the secure cloud infrastructure. All right? So why are we so fond of C Star? Now, in every aspect of business, we always like to raise the bar. So coming from a boutique size to compete with the big boys, we believe compliance is very important, and that's where we want to differentiate ourselves. All right. So, and also on top of what we are already providing our services to some major government agencies, we like to continue this momentum, uses the assurance strategy to touch more important mission critical environment in the government as well as the enterprise client. All right? And IDA has been really talking about smart nation, and I think we believe there's a lot of opportunities that we can contribute to Singapore, being Singapore based. And that's where we are constantly looking at ways to help, not just to take part on the smart nation projects, but looking ways to provide more secure cloud infrastructure. And given the CSA platform is pretty much a globalized, recognized standard, we are beginning to work with CSA to really bring ourselves beyond the shore of Singapore into Asia Pac, if not into the global market. So we have started to talk to countries in the Middle East, in some countries in Asia Pac, to look at replicating our successes to our target markets. So what's the key difference in this cross certification? Now, I think as the slide itself really self-explained, that at the end of the day, in my opinion, is not there's no major difference. It's pretty alike. All right, and I think IDA has put in a great effort to bring up the MTCS level. And I must say is that if you look at this whole comparison, perhaps MTCS is probably more rigid in terms of those standards that we would like to adopt. So I would say that the MTCS certifications has helped us tremendously to attain the gold status of CSA Star. And I think that is really a good start. So if any one of you is really looking into getting onto the global market, and I think the government here in Singapore is very generous enough to bring us onto a very into a very high standard of classification, and I think that really helps. So whether you are a CSP or you are even a software as a service provider, I would strongly encourage you to come on board on MTCS, if not just for the Singapore, but also to the overseas market. Now, it's a bit small, but we wanted to just give you a snapshot of some of those, what I meant by incremental mapping. As you can see from the table, all these topics that was been audited, now you can see that there's no major significant difference. And this is what I meant by just a mapping exercise. Of course, there are gaps in this cross-certification. Now, I think where we had really identified pretty much the mobility device management, the BYOD policies, portability and interoperability of virtualization format, encryption, and of course, we need to be more virtualization aware when it comes into vulnerability assessment tools that we deploy. Okay, so we believe that by doing CSA Star, it will really help us to value add, all right, because we are now able to provide more comprehensive suite of security services than before, all right, in a managed services environment, okay? And as I mentioned, not just for end users, we can also help you, if you are ISVs, to deploy yourself onto a secure cloud environment, to make yourself recognized to be a more secure, aware software solutions. So please reach out to us, that we think that we'll be able to help you to accelerate your adoption onto the cloud platform. Now, I just want to take about 5 minutes touching on some success story. Now, we have plugged into success story for you this afternoon. I think first of all, this is a local government agencies that was deployed on the AWS, but we managed to swing them over successfully, migrating them onto our cloud infrastructure. So as you can see that the customers has a very major pain point, and that is for them to adopt more security, their bills keep going up. And to some extent, they found that it's no longer economical. So that's why they have engaged us to give them an alternative solution, all right, by bringing forth our comprehensive suite of security services onto their applications, all right. So at the end of the day, not only they get a better and secure cloud environment, they think that it's far more cost effective, all right, which is really value for money, okay. And today they are depending on my operational team to run the full operational and technical support, all right, for their entire application. In this case, it is a data bank environment, which is quite a mission critical environment in a government agency. Next is another success stories that we managed to migrate from Tata onto our platform. And this is also a very major government agency that has international offices presence all over the world, all right? So what we have helped them is that to really bring forth again is the security aspect to give them the assurance of their applications, their systems running on the cloud. So we managed to migrate them off, and currently, because being boutique, we also have been commented that we've given them faster response than before of their former vendor. So, and this support is so important for them because they are not just running local offices. They are running a 24/7, follow the sun all over the world for the offices. All right? So this is what we had given them, that best quality support. So to close off, in summary, I think CSA Star and MTCS requirement provide the necessary assurance and the confidence for your journey, all right? As I mentioned, when you want to do cloud, okay, please look at emphasizing a lot on cloud security, because that can be your differentiating factor, right? Like us, we have been winning projects even though we are small, but because we've got really a good team that provides security as the emphasis in our quality of service, all right? And I think alignment for both the government in Singapore and international cloud industry best practices and security requirements to offer secure and reliable cloud. Okay. Last but not least, this is a very stringent, rigorous audit, penetration test, all the technical security review by not just the internal party but also the certification bodies. So that will really help you to ensure compliance to various standards, right, for the CSP, and that will help us to give you the SLA that we have promised you to deliver. All right. So with that, thanks very much.